Good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's Mr. Wahlberg. We're starting Chapter 5. This is your first section on the flip class. Watching your first video on Section 5.1, Similar Figures. As you can read there, similar figures have the same shape but do not have to be the same size. So these two figures here are similar, but to make them similar, you have to have corresponding angles match and corresponding sides match. What does that mean? Well, I take a 40 degrees here and at a 40 degree here angle. 70 degrees, 70 degrees, 70 degrees, 70 degrees. So these are corresponding and similar based on the fact that I have a similar triangle with identical angles. They also have matching sides. Now, they're not the same, but if you look, 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters. If I go to a situation where 4 divided by 2, I'm dividing this 4 divided by that 2, obviously that gets 2. Well, basically this triangle is twice as big as this triangle, and every number is double, obviously, the smaller one. So this triangle here is double the size of this triangle. Alright, I'm going to look at types of problems that you'll be doing for your assignment tomorrow. First of all, you got to pay attention to what it says about figures. Here it says the trapezoids are similar. So these two trapezoids, even though they're not the same size, they are similar to each other. That means their angles and their sides are corresponding with each other, as we just went over in the last slide. Let's start with angles. A, as it says, name the corresponding angles. Well, angle A is going to match up with angle P there. D will match up with S. Obviously, C matches up with R. And then you've got B matches up with Q. So you'd write that for your answer. You write angle A and angle P, angle D and angle S, angle C. That matches up with angle R. And then the last one, angle B, that matches up with angle Q. So each one of these angles, if I just pick A, that is going to have the same angle as P because these trapezoids are similar. Okay, so let me erase all this nonsense and we can do part B of this problem. As I'm erasing this, you can look at B. It says name the corresponding sides. Now again, just because the trapezoids aren't the same size doesn't mean they can't be corresponding with each other. So if I go B, think about it again. Like we just did in the last slide, AD is going to correspond with PS. Now I don't think your book does it, but AD, I would put a line over that. That represents that it's the line segment AD there. And what is that, a PS? We have CD or DC. Doesn't matter which order it would be in because it's still the same line. That matches up with, obviously, SR. And again, I would put a line over that. BC and QR. And last one, AB and PQ. Okay? So even though the trapezoids aren't the same size, they are similar to each other, so the sides, in this case, will be corresponding, just like the angles were corresponding. So we have corresponding angles and corresponding sides. Last thing, as I did on the first slide, we kind of talked about the size differential. You can look at ratios of looking at how much bigger objects are than other objects. It says which rectangle is similar to rectangle A. Well, we look at this. We've got one side that's 6 and we've got one side that is 3. So obviously this side is going to be 6 and this side is going to be 3. So I've got a rectangle 6 by 3. I've got a rectangle 6 by 2 and a rectangle 4 by 2. So what can we figure out what's similar? Well, as we talked about on the first slide, if I compare corresponding sides with each other, 6 to 6 and 3 to 2. Well, 6 over 6, that equals 1. Well, if I then do these two, 3 over 2, that does not equal 1. So A and B are definitely not similar to each other in that case. Again, let me erase here. Whereas if I look at rectangle A and rectangle C, I'm looking at 6 and I'm looking at 4. Well, 6 over 4, 6 is to 4, as 3 is to this 2. Well, 6 over 4, if I reduce that, is 3 over 2. So that to that is 3 over 2. Well, obviously the same thing with this side. This thing is 3 over 2. So both of these are 3 over 2. So that means that the answer here, which rectangle is similar to A, would be rectangle C. And basically, that's because the ratios, let me make this a little clearer now, the ratios of these two rectangles with each other is 3 over 2. Okay, hope you kind of followed along, just kind of a start of this first section on Chapter 5, but I'll check your notes tomorrow, and hopefully this is making more sense as we practice this. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.